All for Love by George Gordon Lord Byron. Read for LibriVox.org by Kristen Hughes. Oh, talk not to me of name great in story. The days of our youth are the days of our glory, and the myrtle and ivy of sweet 22 are worth all your laurels, though ever so plenty. What are garlands and crowns to the brow that is wrinkled? 'Tis but as a dead flower with May-dew besprinkled. Then away with all such from the head that is hoary. What care I for the wreaths that can only give glory? O Fame, if I e'er took delight in thy praises, 'twas less for the sake of thy high-sounding phrases, than to see the bright eyes of the dear one discover she thought that I was not unworthy to love her. There chiefly I sought thee, there only I found thee. Her glance was the best of the rays that surround thee. When it sparkled o'er aught that was bright in my story, I knew it was love, and I felt it was glory. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
How do you find this book? Any thoughts about the book or the author? Any suggestion for improvement? Please take a moment to share your thoughts in a comment. If you like it, share it with your friends who might enjoy it as well. Subscribe to keep in touch. Visit CompleteAudiobooks.com for more quality content.
All Things Are Current Found by Henry David Thoreau. Read for LibriVox.org by Alan Davis Drake. All things are current found on earthly ground. Spirits and elements have their descents. Night and day, year on year, high and low, far and near, these are our own aspects. These are our own regrets. Ye gods of the shore, who abide evermore, I see your far headland stretching on either hand. I hear the sweet evening sounds from your undecaying grounds. Cheat me no more with time. Take me to your clime. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Bid Adieu, Adieu, Adieu by James Joyce for LibriVox.org, narrated by Sean McKinley. Bid adieu, 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 bid adieu to girlish days. Happy love is come to woo thee, and woo thy girlish ways. The zone that doth become thee fair, the snood upon thy yellow hair. When thou hast heard his name upon the bugles of the cherubim, begin thou softly to unzone thy girlish bosom unto him, and softly to undo the snood that is the sign of maidenhood. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Bright Cap and Streamers by James Joyce for LibriVox.org, narrated by Sean McKinley. Bright cap and streamers, he sings in the hollow, come follow, all you that love. Leave dreams to the dreamers that will not after, that song and laughter do nothing move. With ribbons streaming he sings the bolder, in troop at his shoulder the wild bees hum, and at the time of dreaming, dream is over, as lover to lover, sweetheart, I come. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Cane-Bottomed Chair by William Makepeace Thackeray, who lived from 1811 to 1863. Read for LibriVox.org by Alan Chant on the 3rd of March 2007. In tattered old slippers that toast at the bars, and a ragged old jacket perfumed with cigars, away from the world and its toils and its cares, I've a snug little kingdom up 4 pair of stairs. To mount to this realm is a toil, to be sure, but the fire there is bright, and the air rather pure, and the view I behold on a sunshiny day is grand through the chimney pots over the way. This snug little chamber is crammed in all nooks with worthless old knick-knacks and silly old books, and foolish old odds and foolish old ends, cracked bargains from brokers, cheap keepsakes from friends, old armour, prints, pictures, pipes, china, all cracked, old rickety tables and chairs broken-backed, a twopenny treasure wondrous to see. What matter? 'Tis pleasant to you, friend, and me. No better divan need the Sultan require than the creaking old sofa that basks by the fire, and 'tis wonderful surely what music you get from the rickety ramshackle wheezy spinet. That praying rug came from a Turcoman's camp. By Tiber once twinkled that brazen old lamp. A Mameluke fierce yonder dagger has drawn, 'tis a murderous knife to toast muffins upon. Long, long through the hours and the night and the chimes, here we talk of old books and old friends and old times. As we sit in a fog made of rich lacquer, this chamber is pleasant to you, friend, and me. But of all the cheap treasures that garnish my nest, there's one that I love and I cherish the best. For the finest of couches that's padded with hair, I never would change thee, my cane-bottomed chair. 'Tis a bandy-legged, high-shouldered, worm-eaten seat, with a creaking old back and twisted old feet. But since the fair morning when Fanny sat there, I bless thee and love thee, old cane-bottomed chair. If chairs have but feeling in holding such charms, a thrill must have passed through your withered old arms. I looked and I longed and I wished in despair, I wished myself turned to a cane-bottomed chair. It was but a moment she sat in this place. She'd a scarf on her neck and a smile on her face, a smile on her face and a rose in her hair, and she sat there and bloomed in my cane-bottomed chair. And so I have valued my chair ever since, like the shrine of a saint or the throne of a prince. Saint Fanny, my patroness sweet, I declare the queen of my heart and my cane-bottomed chair. When the candles burn low and the company's gone, in the silence of night as I sit here alone, but we yet are a pair. My Fanny I see in my cane-bottomed chair. She comes from the past and revisits my room. She looks as she then did, all beauty and bloom, so smiling and tender, so fresh and so fair, and yonder she sits in my cane-bottomed chair. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Fable by Ralph Waldo Emerson, read for LibriVox.org by Alan Davis Drake. The mountain and the squirrel had a quarrel, and the former called the latter Little Prig. Bun replied, "You are doubtless very big, but all sorts of things and weather must be taken in together to make up a year and a sphere, and I think it no disgrace to occupy my place. If I'm not so large as you, you are not so small as I, and not half so spry. I'll not deny you make a very pretty squirrel track. Talents differ. All is well and wisely put. If I cannot carry forests on my back, neither can you crack a nut." End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Fame is a Food That Dead Men Eat by Austin Dobson, read for LibriVox.org by Leanne Howlett. Fame is a food that dead men eat. I have no stomach for such meat. In little light and narrow room, they eat it in the silent tomb, with no kind voice of comrade near to bid the banquet be of cheer. But friendship is a nobler thing, of friendship it is good to sing. For truly when a man shall end, he lives in memory of his friend, who doth his better part recall, and of his faults make funeral. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Fisher's Boy by Henry David Thoreau. Read for LibriVox.org by Alan Davis Drake. My life is like a stroll upon the beach, as near the ocean's edge as I can go. My tardy steps its waves sometimes o'erreach, sometimes I stay to let them overflow. My sole employment 'tis, and scrupulous care, to place my gains beyond the reach of tides, each smoother pebble and each shell more rare, which ocean kindly to my hand confides. I have but few companions on the shore, they scorn the strand who sail upon the sea, yet oft I think the ocean they've sailed o'er is deeper known upon the strand to me. The middle sea contains no crimson dulce, its deeper waves cast up no pearls to view. Along the shore my hand is on its pulse, and I converse with many a shipwrecked crew. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. I Died for Beauty by Emily Dickinson. Read for LibriVox.org by Alan Davis Drake. I died for beauty, but was scarce adjusted to the tomb, when one who died for truth was lain in an adjoining room. He questioned softly why I failed. For beauty, I replied. And I for truth. The two are one. We brethren are, he said. And so, as kinsmen met a night, we talked between the rooms, until the moss had reached our lips and covered up our names. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Main Street by Joyce Kilmer for SML. Read for LibriVox.org by Richard Gaudette. I like to look at the blossomy track of the moon upon the sea, but it isn't half so fine a sight as Main Street used to be, when it was all covered over with a couple of feet of snow, and over the crisp and radiant road the ringing sleighs would go. Now, Main Street bordered with autumn leaves, it was a pleasant thing, and its gutters were gay with dandelions early in the spring. I like to think of it white with frost or dusty in the heat, because I think it is humaner than any other street. A city street that is busy and wide is ground by 1,000 wheels, and the burden of traffic on its breast is all it ever feels. It is dully conscious of weight and speed and of work that never ends, but it cannot be human like Main Street and recognize its friends. There are only about 100 teams on Main Street in a day, and 20 or 30 people, I guess, and some children out to play. And there wasn't a wagon or buggy or a man or a girl or a boy that Main Street didn't remember and somehow seemed to enjoy. The truck and the motor and the trolley car and the elevated train, they make the weary city street reverberate with pain. But there is yet an echo left deep down within my heart of the music the Main Street cobblestones made beneath a butcher's cart. God be thanked for the Milky Way that runs across the sky. That's the path that my feet would tread whenever I have to die. Some folks call it a silver sword, and some a pearly crown, but the only thing I think it is Main Street, Heaven Town. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Men Say They Know of Many Things by Henry David Thoreau. Read for LibriVox.org by Alan Davis Drake. Men say they know of many things, but lo, they have taken wings, the arts and sciences, and 1,000 appliances. The wind that blows is all that anybody knows. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Night is Darkening Round Me by Emily Jane Bronte. Read for LibriVox.org by Richard Gaudette. The night is darkening round me, the wild winds coldly blow, but a tyrant spell has bound me, and I cannot go. The giant trees are bending, their bare boughs weighed with snow. The storm is fast descending, and yet I cannot go. Clouds beyond clouds above me, waste beyond waste below, but nothing drear can move me. I will not, cannot go. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Parable of the Old Men and the Young by Wilfred Owen. Read for LibriVox.org by Caroline Fody, March 2, 2007, in Baltimore, Maryland. Parable of the Old Men and the Young. So Abram rose and clave the wood, and went and took the fire with him and a knife. And as they sojourned both of them together, Isaac the firstborn spake, and said, My father, behold the preparations, fire and iron. But where the lamb for this burnt offering? Then Abram bound the youth with belts and straps, and builded parapets and trenches there, and stretched forth the knife to slay his son. When lo, an angel called him out of heaven, saying, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do anything to him. Behold, a ram caught in a thicket by its horns. Offer the ram of pride instead of him. But the old man would not so, but slew his son and half the seed of Europe, one by one. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Problem by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Read for LibriVox.org by Alan Davis Drake. I like a church. I like a cowl. I love a prophet of the soul, and on my heart monastic aisles fall like sweet strains, or pensive smiles. Yet not for all his faith can see would I that cowled churchman be. What should the rest on him allure, which I could not on me endure? Not from a vain or shallow thought is awful Jove young Phidias brought. Never from lips of cunning fell the trilling Delphic oracle. Out from the heart of nature rolled the burdens of the Bible old. The litanies of nations came like the volcano's tongue of flame. Up from the burning core below, the canticles of love and woe, the hand that rounded Peter's dome, and groined the aisles of Christian Rome. Wrought in a sad sincerity, himself from God he could not free. He builded better than he knew. The conscious stone to beauty grew. Knowest thou what wove yon woodbird's nest of leaves and feathers from her breast? Or how the fish outbuilt her shell, painting with morn each annual cell? Or how the sacred pine tree adds to her own leaves new myriads? Such and so grew these holy piles, whilst love and terror laid the tiles. Earth proudly wears the Pantheon, as the best gem upon her zone. And morning opes with haste her lids, to gaze upon the pyramids. Or England's abbeys bend the sky, as on its friends with kindred eye. For, out of thought's interior sphere, these wonders rose to upper air. And nature gladly gave them place, adopted them into her race, and granted them an equal date with Andes and with Ararat. These temples grew as grows the grass. Art might obey, but not surpass. The passive master lent his hand to the vast soul that o'er him planned, and the same power that reared the shrine bestrode the tribes that knelt within. Ever the fiery Pentecost girds with one flame the countless host, traces the heart through the chanting choirs, and through the priest the mind inspires. The word unto the prophet spoken was writ on tables yet unbroken. The word by seers or sibyls told, in groves of oak or fanes of gold, still floats upon the morning wind, still whispers to the willing mind. One accent of the Holy Ghost the heedless world hath never lost. I know what say the fathers wise. The book itself before me lies. Old Chrysostom, best Augustine, and he who blent both in his line. The younger Golden Lips, or Mines, Taylor, the Shakespeare of divines. His words were music in my ear. I see his cowled portrait dear, and yet, for all his faith could see, I would not the good bishop be. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Quarrel by Eleanor Wiley, read for LibriVox.org by Leanne Howlett. Quarrel. Let us quarrel for these reasons. You detest the salt which seasons my speech, and all my lights go out in the cold poison of your doubt. I love Shelley. You love Keats. Something parts and something meets. I love salads. You love chops. Something goes and something stops. Something hides its face and cries. Something shivers. Something dies. I love blue ribbons brought from fairs. You love sitting splitting hairs. I love truth, and so do you. Tell me, is it truly true? End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
Roofs by Joyce Kilmer for Amelia Josephine Burr. Read for LibriVox.org by Richard Gaudette. The road is wide and the stars are out and the breath of night is sweet, and this is the time when wanderlust should seize upon my feet. But I'm glad to turn from the open road and the starlight on my face, and to leave the splendor of out of doors for a human dwelling place. I have never seen a vagabond who really liked to roam all up and down the streets of the world and not to have a home. The tramp who slept in your barn last night and left at break of day will wander only until he finds another place to stay. A gypsy man will sleep in his cart with canvas overhead, or else he'll go into his tent when it is time for bed. He'll sit on the grass and take his ease so long as the sun is high, but when it is dark he wants a roof to keep away the sky. If you call a gypsy a vagabond, I think you do him wrong, for he never goes a-traveling, but he takes his home along. And the only reason a road is good, as every wanderer knows, is just because of the homes to which it goes. They say that life is a highway, and its milestones are the years, and now and then there's a toll gate where you buy your way with tears. It's a rough road and a steep road, and it stretches broad and far, but at last it leads to a golden town where golden houses are. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Snowstorm by Ralph Waldo Emerson. Read for LibriVox.org by Alan Davis Drake. Announced by all the trumpets of the sky, arrives the snow, and driving o'er the fields seems nowhere to alight. The whitened air hides hills and woods, the river and the heaven, and veils the farmhouse at the garden's end. The sled and traveller stopped, the courier's feet delayed, all friends shut out. The housemates sit around the radiant fireplace, enclosed in a tumultuous privacy of storm. Come see the north wind's masonry, out of an unseen quarry evermore furnished with tile. The fierce artificer curves his white bastions with projected roof round every windward stake, or tree, or door, speeding the myriad-handed, his wild work so fanciful, so savage. Naught cares he for number or proportion. Mockingly, on coop or kennel, he hangs Parian wreaths. A swan-like form invests the hidden thorn, fills up the farmer's lane from wall to wall. Maugre the farmer's sighs, and at the gate a tampering turret overtops the work. And when his hours are numbered, and the world is all his own, retiring as he were not, leaves. When the sun appears, astonished art, to mimic in slow structures, stone by stone, built in an age, the mad wind's night-work, the frolic architecture of the snow. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain. Sonnet to Sleep by John Keats. Read for LibriVox.org by Alan Davis Drake. O soft embalmer of the still midnight, shutting with careful fingers and benign our gloom-pleased eyes, embowered from the light, enshaded in forgetfulness divine. O soothest sleep, if so it please thee, close, in midst of this thine hymn, my willing eyes. Or wait the Amen, ere the poppy throws around my bed its lulling charities. Then save me, or the past day will shine upon my pillow, breeding many woes. Save me from curious conscience, that still hoards its strength for darkness, burrowing like the mole. Turn the key deftly in the oiled wards, and seal the hushed casket of my soul. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
The Tryst of the Night by Mary C. G. Byron. Read for LibriVox.org by Kristen Hughes. Out of the uttermost ridge of dusk, where the dark and the day are mingled, the voice of the night rose cold and calm. It called through the shadow-swept air. Through all the valleys and lone hillsides, it pierced, it thrilled, it tingled. It summoned me forth to the wild seashore, to meet with its mystery there. Out of the deep ineffable blue, with palpitant swift repeating of gleam and glitter and opaline glow that broke in ripples of light, in burning glory it came and went. I heard, I saw it beating, pulse by pulse, from star to star, the passionate heart of the night. Out of the thud of the rustling sea, the panting, yearning, throbbing waves that stole on the startled shore, with coo and mutter of spray, the wail of the night came fitful faint. I heard her stifled sobbing, The cold salt drops fell slowly, slowly grey into gulfs of grey. There through the darkness the great world reeled, and the great tides roared, assembling, murmuring hidden things that are past, and secret things that shall be. There at the limits of life we met and touched with a rapturous trembling, one with each other, I and the night, and the skies and the stars and the sea. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.
What Soft Cherubic Creatures by Emily Dickinson. Read for LibriVox.org by Alan Davis Drake. What soft cherubic creatures these gentlewomen are! One would as soon assault a plush or violate a star. Such dimity convictions, a horror so refined of freckled human nature, of deity ashamed. It's such a common glory, a fisherman's decree. Redemption, brittle lady, be so, ashamed of thee. End of poem. This recording is in the public domain.